And now for our annual report, here is Celia Johnston Blue, CEO and President, visionary and founding board member here. Hi, Celia.
Hi, Crystal. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can everyone hear me? Okay, fantastic. I'm going to try to go right into our presentation today. I know we have a tight schedule and we have an exciting program lined up for you today. Thank you for those that are here with us. The one nice thing about doing this virtual, though I miss the in-person, at least we don't have to deal with the storm so much. Well, I mean, people are having issues with electricity and everything else, but thank you again for making the time to be with us today. So I have an annual report. What we normally do is I report out what we've done over the last year and where we're heading. And this is really an exciting time for us. And I have some news to share with you that I hope you'll be as thrilled as we are to be involved in doing this work. So let me try to get to my presentation here, and I have, let's see if it will allow me to. Can you all see that? Yep. Okay. I'm gonna move you over just a bit. As most of you know, that we are really focused on addressing systemic and institutional racism. We've got this all on our website in terms of our mission, really envisioning the Commonwealth to be authentic and inclusive, where racism and sexism no longer dictates the outcomes for women of color and our communities of color. And we are really working hard towards realizing that vision. Quickly, I want to show today is we've done the welcome. I'm going to do the annual report, introduction of our keynote speaker, who is NC. And I don't want to say her last name because I think I'm not going to pronounce it correctly, but I think Crystal got that for you later, who I'm very excited to be here with us today for her to share the work that she's doing in the New Georgia Project. We have a Q&A session lined up after that, where you will get an opportunity to ask some questions. We're excited to honor some of our MAWOCC members today in the public health area that's on the front lines, dealing with COVID and dealing and navigating the challenges there and helping us as a community. And then we've got some recognition for our donors and sponsors, and our advisory board chair, Charlotte Gola-Ritchie, will then close us out and call us to action. Before I go on, I do want to acknowledge our board members, and I do want to take a quick moment, a brief moment of silence. Our board member, Urzell Kavan, who was going to do the intro for us today, her dad passed away this morning and is not able to be with us. And I just want to take a quick moment of silence for them. I also want to recognize the rest of our current board, and I'll go through the list, and I think Jesse maybe just spotlighting as we quickly run through. We have our, starting with we call our Wild Wild West region in the western part of the state, Denise Jordan, who's vice president of our western region. I'm not sure if she was able to log on yet, but if she's here, she is one of our board members from the Western region. There she is.
I'm here. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Greetings from the Wild Wild West.
And we have Gladys Oyola. I'm not sure if she's with us, but Gladys, are you here with us? Welcome. We have Waleska Lugo de Hosas, who unfortunately is at a wake this morning, or funeral. And then we've got Maria Rivera Cotto, our General Counsel and Vice President of the Central Region, who did the intro for us impromptu today. Thank you, Maria. And Brenda Jenkins, who is a co-visionary with me of, as we say, the movement and founding member, and she's also the platform chair of our health and wellness platform. Brenda Jenkins.
Welcome, welcome to everyone.
And then we've got Jean Morrison from our Eastern region is with us. And I know she's having some power issues there on the Cape. There she is.
I'm here. Welcome, everyone.
Right. And then Gemily D. Pasquale, who's from our treasurer and from our central region. And I think I have gotten everyone. Did I forget anyone? No. Got everyone.
As board members, or what do you
Board,
introduce?
just board members, yeah. And then I do want to quickly acknowledge that we do have our advisory board members here with us today as well. Jesse, not sure. I'm going to start first with our chair, and I don't have my list in front of me. Charlotte Goler Ritchie, who is our chair and co-founder. Well, there she is, and I will try to get to my list here. We have Mary Fernandez, who is a founding member of MAWOCC and a co-founder of our advisory board. All right, and then we have Dr. Lori Nasaya Jefferson, who is the head of the, I'm sharing because I want to get to their names here, who is head of the Center for Women in Politics and Public Policy. And we have Linda Cavioli, who's the former head of the YWCA in Central Mass. She is a longtime partner and supporter of MAWOCC. Magnolia Contreras, don't know if you're here with us today, Magnolia. Zoe Harris. There she is. And Zoe, I know I saw Zoe earlier. And Tahera Amatal Wadud. Colette Phillips. Wilnelia Rivera. Pat Washington. And Vera Dominique Cage is with us, I think, today. So just wanted to recognize those folks. And I'm gonna just stop sharing for a moment and I get back to my presentation. Thank you all again for your time and your energy that you have certainly bestowed upon us, and it is greatly appreciated. Let me get out of this now and get to my presentation. There we go. Can you guys see that?
No, I don't see it, Celia.
Let me pull it back up. How about now? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So just in terms of how we're organized, as I mentioned to you, we have 3 regions: Western, Central, and Eastern. Our structure is that we're statewide. We have board members across the state, as well as we have certainly regional platform volunteer positions, and we're always looking for volunteers and millennial leader positions to help us do the work. I'm going to get right into our finances. As you know, we are a grassroots organization. We're going into our 7th year. And for the first time, we almost broke 100,000 last year, where we got to about $96,000 in revenue and our expenses. And so we're very, we operate in very slim budget here, as they say, shoestring budget. We were very fortunate last year to get a commitment for $160,000 from the Cataly Foundation, who is funding our Healing to Lead program. And they have given us $80,000 already to start this work. And I'll talk a little bit about that later on. We also were able to get a donation in from the Episcopal City Mission and the ES Foundation, which we're very thankful for. We're going to get right into our goals of what we set out to do last year. Most of them we've accomplished. We haven't accomplished all, but we're thrilled about the work we've done so far. We wanted to finish out our 501(c)(3) process, and hired, and her goal last year was to hire an attorney and to get us to that space. Our YWCA Central Mass has been our fiscal agent for almost over 5 years, and has been a strong partner, but it was always our goal to become independent and finish out that process. We wanted to launch and build our partnership with the Mass Treasurer's Office, or the Office of Economic Empowerment, create and build and launch our MAWOCC Advisory Board, which, as you've heard, we've done that. And thanks to the leadership of Charlotte and Mary, who worked very closely with me on that. And we had a Women's History Month we had committed to doing, develop a sustainability plan, which started out with our strategic plan, which which goes to growth and fundraising, and we wanted to resume our regional meetings. We were not able to resume our regional meetings this year, and that is on the table for this year. We focused on 3 of our major platforms: political and civic leadership, economic power and sustainability, health and wellness. We wanted to try to get a symposium done under a criminal justice program. We did not get that in this year, but we are excited about the work that we've done on the other platforms that I will be sharing with you. Big news for us is that we did get our 501c3, woohoo, which is a great thing for us. We got the news early in December, and we're in the process of transitioning from our fiscal agent at this moment. We also do have, the board has approved MAWOCC Action Fund, which that's our C4, which will be our lobbying arm. And that's something we will look to do in the near future. And we, as I said, wanted to create and build our advisory board, which we've already done, which we did do last year. In terms of platform goals, I just think it's really important to just go over, particularly the political area. This is our strongest platform, and the one we knew that we wanted to put out the gate, be very involved in. And our goal is around increasing women of color hired, appointed, and elected as officials in senior levels, positions in state government, including boards and commissions. We'll talk a little bit about that. That's why that's highlighted. And then to develop and support system for existing and new women of color leaders that are going into these positions that are, you know, hired, appointed, or elected. Increase our voter registration, education, and turnout, and then continue to mentor and build a talented membership base, which is also building our communities to be more civically engaged. We also had some, we partnered with the Center for Women in Politics and Public Policy out of UMass Boston, and we had a goal to conclude and launch the Women of Color Elected Official Profiles. The Center for Women Politics and Public Policy is the author and the publisher of that. I think that's one of the only published publication that is collected. And this year, we also included municipality leaders. We are also continuing our lobbying for the, our advocacy, I should say, not lobbying, for the Parity on Board Coalition, which I have, and I think Jean can probably give us an update in a moment, but we had made some good strides on that this year. And then to continue around voting leader and a broader statewide collaboration around getting the vote out, and also civic leadership. We published the Women of Color Elected Officials in May of last year, and Dr. Lori Nasaya Jefferson and her team did a fantastic job in pulling all that data together. So that's a goal we definitely accomplished last year and are very proud of. Getting into the voting range, we also voting and civic engagement. We are also committed to putting on different forums, candidates forums, so that our communities can be more educated about who's running and what their values are. What do they care about? Do they line up with their own? And so we've done quite a few forums across the state. Last year, we partnered with the YWCA, who led this for the Worcester Candidates Forum, both the City Council and School Committee. And I have to say that Worcester made history this year with the most diverse candidates ever in the history of the city. And it's nice to be a part of that movement to help with that. And we partnered with several other organizations, as you can see. NAACP as well of Worcester was one of our partners, the League, Lyon was. And we also did candidates forums, Cape and Islands, Hyannis. Jean is also involved with the League of Women Voters on the Cape Cod Times. The NAACP was also in the mix. And we also did the Boston Mayoral Primary Candidates Forum, which was very successful last year. And we partnered with many organizations also to put that on. And we also have been working with the Massachusetts Voter Table to on the Getting Out the Vote partnership. We're thrilled that the Boston Globe was our media partner with this. I think we had over 400 people registered and over 200 attended, which was very successful. And we have all of our partners there that we partnered with for that event. And we will recognize our partners a bit later on as well. And then I talked about our ongoing advocacy and collaboration, which the YWC of Boston is leading. 21 organizations, if not more, have signed up. We are part of the steering committee for that. This did make it out of committee this year. And I don't know, Jean, do you want to just give a quick, where are we on that bill, that legislation?
Yes, the bill was reported favorably in both the Senate and the House, and is now in Ways and Means. And it does need some more support to hear from people. Right now, the focus is on contacting your senator and advocating for the bill.
There you go. And really, this is about making sure that we have the representation of our communities represented. If you believe it or not, there's really, well, I'm sure you believe it, there just is not enough representation for people of color, particularly women of color, which of course we're very biased about that. Over the last 2 years with just the EOS Foundation and benchmarking, you know, what has happened in its 50 large boards, there's been zero gains for women of color. So it is very important. Only one other state in this country has similar legislation. Ours would be a little bit different in that we are fighting to keep the language in that's specific around women of color because we feel that is necessary. And so we have also sent out sort of talking points, if you will, to call your senators, and we will do that again this hopefully by early next week. But if you can also advocate for this, I think this is very important. We did some informational sessions as well. I think we did about 4 sessions last year, partnering with other organizations. We're also partnering organization on the Votes Act bill. And lots of you should have seen lots of activities over the last week or two that we've sent out to call your legislatures to get that to move on that bill. And also the wage transparency bill is another bill that we are advocating for as well. We did in order to sort of highlight the boards and commission piece, we did a Women's History Month focus on that, partnering with the YWC of Boston and the Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women. We also have a new partnership with Councilor Mejia out of Boston, who is one of the key founding member of the Political Lab. And we had some candidates actually that won this year who went through our first pilot cohort early last year. And basically what, again, goes back to this goal of building a bench, making sure that we are training and providing the experience of what it takes to run for office and also campaign manager, all the things that we need to be successful. And we are doing our second cohort actually right as we speak this over the next couple of months. With regards to our economic power and sustainability platform, we're focusing on 3 areas: increased financial literacy, equal pay and pay equity, increased asset and wealth building. We did not really get to do anything around the asset wealth building last year, but we certainly, and the literacy piece, but we did have a lot of activities around the equal pay and pay equity, thanks to our partnership with the Treasurer's Office, the Office of Economic Empowerment, where we did a series of roundtable focused on really diverse voices around pay equity. Money Talk Tuesday, and as I mentioned, we've got the wage equity stuff bill that we are focusing, we are advocating for, as well as one of the organizations. And just to give you a sense, when I say diverse voices, the first one of the sessions was supposed to focus on Asian American and Pacific Island, equal pay conversation, the Latinas equal pay. We had Black women's equal pay, LGBTQ, just all kinds of really looking at this at many different angles and really having the conversation about what's important and what we're learning and what we need to do to continue to advocate for pay equity, particularly for women and women of color. With regards to our health and wellness platform, our goals were coming out of the meeting last year was to educate, bring awareness around COVID-19 and vaccines, particularly on women of color and communities of color. We had a community outreach project with the UMass Memorial City of Worcester and Health that's funded by the Health Foundation of Central Mass. We did a project with them around that. We also wanted to bring more awareness and research on mental health among women of color to provide cultural sensitivity, information on care delivery, which also includes substance abuse. And we really want to get into around investing around data systems and collections. We know that the way that the data is collected is not necessarily the way that really bears fruit, especially for diverse communities, in particular women of color. And while we didn't get to work on that piece last year, it's still important. It's something we're going to be certainly looking to do this year and the following year. We did a forum around vaccination and really making sure that people had the facts. We had two medical students, Jordan Dudley and Cassandra Jean Marie, who worked with Brenda Jenkins, our platform chair. And we're also blessed with Dr. Sarah Perez McAdoo, who is their mentor and also affiliated with MAWOCC through the Wild Wild West region, also participated with us. We had a great conversation about sharing the facts and some of the trepidation that our communities have, especially communities of color, which is real, on why folks are not getting vaccinated. And we want them to know the facts and make that informed decision. Goals continuing on, we did one of our Healing to Lead session, which is really about focusing on us because of our journey in this world. We know that our walk of life is different than our white counterparts. We go through a lot of different traumas, and this is a way of talking through our experience in a safe space with each other and learning strategies to be able to then refresh and lead. We have some new partners that we took on this year. The conference for the Massachusetts Conference for Women is one of our key partners this year. We partnered with them around the conference and some different career fairs. We also partnered with the Esler Family Foundation, who did a conversation with Heather McGee in her book around the cost of racism. And as you can see, many other organizations joined forces to be a part of that here in Worcester and Central Mass. So what's on the horizon for us in terms of next chapter? We're going to say 2022 to 2025. We want to develop a sustainability plan, which really starts out with a strategic plan, which we have completed. And part of that is also to develop the case for pursuing funding opportunities and really look at how we're going to develop long-term revenue streams. We are going to, we've started to raise some funds to really, we know that the demand and the capacity, the demand is there for the work that we're doing and for our organization, and the capacity, we're at the point now where we need to build capacity. And so the board, we've made a decision that we are going to raise some funds to have full-time staff. That is really the next chapter in the phase for us, and that we really need to build the infrastructure and program in so that we can evolve into this global organization that we one day will be. And we're starting off in the grassroots space at this point. One of the, really big exciting news for us with regards to our next step is regards to the Esler Family Foundation, with us moving forward with beginning our fundraising to have full-time staff. We're really honored and proud to publicly announce today that the Esler Family Foundation has committed to donating $500,000 over the next 3 years. And year one, $250,000 to support our operations, and having a full-time CEO to start the work in building our infrastructure and doing the things I just talked about in terms of revenue stream, putting in the right things that we need to do to evolve as a organization that's a premier organization for women of color and girls of color. So we're really excited. And I think they're here with us today. If we can spotlight Jean and John Esler, I'm gonna spotlight them for a moment before I continue on. And I promise you I'm almost done so we can get to hear from NC. There's Jean and John Esler. Thank you for being here with us today. And the other part of this news is that Celia Blue will now become the full-time CEO of MAWOCC, thanks to this funding and the board recognizing that it's time for us to move into this direction, and a really, really huge step for us right now. A lot of work to be done, don't get me wrong, we're just getting started, but to be able to focus full-time on MAWOCC and get it where it needs to be over the next 3 years. I'm certainly committed to doing this work and this role, and hopefully be able to have a successor in year 3 for us to continue to evolve as an organization. So we are super excited and to share this news with you all today, and more to come there for sure. So what does this mean for us in terms of our next chapter? We want to raise 1.5 to 200 million to $2 million, not 200 million, for 4 full-time staff, infrastructure work, website. We've got to redo our website, database, software, all the things that we need to do, the unsexy work behind the scenes that we need to do to make sure that we are a viable organization as we evolve, program support, member cultivation. One of the things that will be on my radar to do that I'll focus on is around creating a plan to increase volunteer and membership engagement, which will involve, and a public affairs plan, which we have not done yet, to really market our organization as that premier organization for women of color and girls of color. We start in 9th grade, and there is some cultivation work that we need to do. We launched those membership engagement years ago, but we need to get back to that. And then our Healing to Lead program, as I mentioned before, we got funding for that. We will be doing some work around that as well. And in parallel, we're still going to be focusing on, these platforms, right? We've got some partnerships opportunities that we need to continue to build with the Economic Office of Empowerment. There's a new series about worth and wealth seminars, which will get to our financial literacy goal, as well as our asset and wealth goal that we did not get to this year, or a political lab around cultivating leaders. Expanding our partnership with the Center for Women in Public Policy, in that Dr. Lori Nasaya Jefferson is leading, and we are talking about parity board trading right now, because part of this is, if we are recruiting you to be on the boards and commissions, we want to make sure that you have the training, you have the tools to be able to successfully navigate those roles, especially when you're one of few or one of the only one on these boards. It does get a little bit daunting. We want to make sure that we build a real world experience program that's speaks to that. She's also committed to helping us around our Leadership Academy, which is something is in a conceptual stage. And Massachusetts Voter Table, we've been working with Beth Hong and her team, and we are going to be talking about how we can even work more together. And then we're also exploring some potential partnerships with Groundwork Project, also the University of Vermont, who we have been in touch with for a while now. We're looking at a certificate program that could be branded for with partnership with MAWOCC. So lots going on still there that we'll be focusing on. And I mentioned our Healing to Lead. We'll be doing 3 sessions this year, 1 in each region. We will get an opportunity as a board to pause and reflect, and we'll do a short retreat in the summer that the Catholic Foundation has helped us to be able to do. And so we're really thrilled to say that with the commitment of the Esler Foundation, we are on our way, and encourage you all to donate to us today or in the near future as we move forward to realize our goals and getting some full-time employees to support the work. So that brings me through to my presentation. A little bit, try to whip through this as quickly as possible so we can get back on track to hear our keynote speaker. So with that, that concludes my presentation, my report out today, and I'll turn this back over to Crystal Haynes.